Um, you know, I try to put things in perspective and understand that these people try to counter reality. There's a lot of ways they try to discredit me in the most obvious manipulations and the most nonsensical things. You know what? The things they do sometimes is try to get you to blame them on things that they don't do, even though they do other things all the time. For example, I was trying to record on another phone of mine, but it wasn't working, and they tried to make me think, oh, you see, they playing with your phone. Like, they try to do this. Yes, they play with my phone, but this extent is not what they've played with, right? But they started making me think that way before even I realized. Like, I was realizing now that's something else, because they control your thoughts and can make you think in a certain ways. What they're trying to do is counter reality, try to get you to be discredit you somehow and be like, oh, we did that, huh? Well, no, you make me think that you did that, or think that to blame you on that, when I was exactly looking at the phone and realized, okay. But they were so quick on my phone. Sorry, they were so quick on my mind. As you can see, talking is gonna be harder. They were so quick to change my mind to thinking, oh, they did something to my phone. So when I realized that, oh, that's the wrong phone that I used for recording my video, that then they're like, oh, you see, we did that, huh? Like, we're doing the perfia type of torture, huh? Basically, they're trying to discredit themselves from the fact that they do the perfia type of torture. This is the things they do non-stop. There's no doubt. My phone, everything, my devices, they play with them, those every once in a while, but it's not the norm. But what they do is they try to find things that they can want you to blame them on, so then they can be like, oh, you see, you blame us on this thing, we didn't do this, but so the perfia things is not what we're doing all the time, non-stop. Yes, they do the perfect type of torture. Yes, every once in a while they play with my phone. Sometimes they do things with my video, some random things here and there. I don't know how often they do that, but they do this. But it's not, to me, I don't catch that often. What I know is what they do to my mind, how I think. The perfect things, the illogicalness is just nonsensical. Right? They try to mess with me and try to find ways to discredit me in regard of what they've done to my phone. If they do, like, for example, this microphone, when I speak, sometimes on this phone it sounds like something is off, especially when I make videos for some reason, and sometimes it sounds fine. And so, like, of course, I'm like, what is going on with my phone? I don't have the newest phone, but it's kind of weird that just randomly work well on one moment and doesn't work well on the other, and things like that. So things like that, you can always be like, okay, are they doing this? It's just my phone getting old. That is just something that you can never, I don't care much. I'm gonna adjust to whatever. If my phone is old, I'll get a new phone, or I'll work with this phone regardless. If they're manipulating this, as long as I can make videos, I don't care. But one thing they don't ever stop doing is the perfia type of torture. This is what they do. This is what I know what they do. No, stop. It'll never end. They manipulate me. In the last video, you saw this father bringing his daughter to deliver food. And, in any other moment, you think, oh, that's nice. So father and daughter, they're working together. That's endearing. No, but this is not endearing moment, because the reason why he brought his daughter is because they want to do the perfia type of torture. He brought his own daughter, at least that's what he said in the last video, and wanted me to look at this kid so they can do this perfect type of torture. And I even asked him, it's like, is that your daughter? Oh, okay. I tried to play it off. Oh, okay, good. That's yeah. But in reality, I was like, you're just disturbing, nasty, low life. Now, they've been trying to make me accept these things by saying that, this is how you felt when you were a kid around that age. Look at this picture. This is the age they're talking about, right? A little bit, maybe a year older or so of that picture, or a year after this picture was taken. Right? This nasty stimulation is what I'm experiencing, is what they've matched it to me when I was a child. Me in my 30s. Me as a 37-year-old. Me as a 38-year-old. Me as a 33-year-old. This is how you felt when you were about that age. And so this experience you're having is us matching to that time of your life. So on its own, this thing is nonsensical. On its own, it's just almost illogical. And as I'm saying that, they're bringing back how they make me perceive this child. There's this child I talked about before. You see this picture, I've shown this. They were trying to make me look at this kid's butt in different ways. They make me imagine this. And then try to make me imagine the little one, even the younger little girl. I remember I was at the airport and there was this little girl, like maybe 3 years old, just running around. They start making me look at this kid's butt in a disgusting way. Sorry about that. And to want you to accept this is how you would see it when you were a child. You see, we matched it. Obviously, it's not true. I know it's not true. But these people have actually ability to access your memories. The reason why they can change your memories and make you feel different version of your memories is because they can access it. They've been working on memory manipulation since the 60s. This is nothing new. But now with this technology, they can literally not only access your memories, but manipulate your memories. So they can obviously make you feel, they were trying to get credibility for me to accept this nonsensicalness. That, we, as we were looking at you when you were a kid, we're able to find this thing, and now we're bringing that back in your mind. You understand? Just, first of all, that doesn't even make sense. Why? It's like me talking to a 38-year-old man, saying, we're able to access your brain, and we brought something from your middle school years in your brain. You look at me, it's like, what? Huh? Yeah. You were thinking like that when you just turned 14 years old. Oh no, when you were 10 years old, that's how you thought. That person will look at you like, what? I have kids. Who do you hate? So this on its own is nonsensical. But you understand, these people do the pedophilia type of torture. They call me I'm their pedo. These people are filled with pedophiles. And if you see who's talking, like if I unblur the pictures of these people investigating, you will know what this.
The Inspector General of the Intelligence Community found that 2 officials from the National Reconnaissance Office, which oversees America's spy satellites, acknowledged viewing images of child sexual abuse during polygraph examinations. This is so disturbing. At a symposium in 2016, Daniel Payne, a top Pentagon security official, said that when workers' computers were examined, the amount of child porn I see is just unbelievable. Is this something that is happening for whatever reason with more frequency in our intelligence agencies, or is this something that is more pervasive in the general population than I originally realized? I mean, what's going on here? This is so bizarre. Remember, it's so evil.
Allie, we're told, and when I was put through recruitment into the intel community, you're put through polygraphs, you're put through a rigorous selection process. Why aren't these people weeded out? Why are so many pedophiles allowed to be given top-level security clearance? Remember, these aren't just people walking in off the street and saying, hey, can I get hired? Can I get a job? You're put through an extremely rigorous background check screening process. It's called an SSBI, single scope background investigation. There are people, they interview you, they interview your family, they interview your contacts, they go through your online footprint, they go through everything. So why is it that when they're going through these footprints, they're not checking, these digital footprints, they're not checking for so many pedophiles getting through their ranks? If it were up to me, you need to go into Congress, and Congress needs to launch a brand new church committee, number 1, to talk about domestic surveillance operations, but number 2, to ask the question, why are there so many pedophiles sitting behind those computer screens within the walls of Langley, within the Pentagon, and throughout the broader intelligence community?
They are trying to manipulate you into accepting these pedophilia things. This is a program that manipulates people, that change people, that want people to accept the change as if it's happening organically. No, of course I know. You guys are the pedos. I've been validated in so many ways that the people orchestrating these things have issues with pedophilia. The people architecting this are filled with pedos. These people from DARPA caught with child porn on government devices. This is real things. It's not me matching it to you when you're a child. This is reality. These people they really want me to look at them. Oh, these people are just investigating. They're assessing, and now you are manipulating people's brain into thinking like that. And they call it war when they try to create a way for me to accept this. First of all, I'll never win this war. It's not a war. My brain is going to go this way all the time. There's no war. There's no losing. That's how my brain is manipulated. This technology is technology that manipulate people, that change the way you think and make you accept and try to make you accept this thought as yours and try to blend it in as much as they can. That's what this technology is. They're not here investing. This is like what year? They're probably that time. Those days probably where they were just kind of like figure out your thoughts. Those days are probably so back a long time ago. They're on the phase of just manipulating completely somebody. These people are just they're like, oh, we just mapped it. It's like, oh, please, what year are we? 1985? What this? They're here manipulating people and wanting them to accept this manipulation. And you have people around you, your ecosystem, they're supposed to look at their phone and look at what's happening to your brain. It's part of like try to make you accept this thing. So you see how I'm looking at my phone? I saw what's happening in my brain. Yeah, you can look at anything on your phone. So if things will manipulate my brain when on your phone, would you not be able to look at and manipulate things on your phone? These people are delusional. The thing is, because you're looking at my phone, because you're looking at your phone, and this thing is happening to my brain, should be like, oh my gosh, he's looking.
This is a common breakdown tactic of belief systems and the human will. In no-touch torture, the techniques are more psychologically specialized for each target. Most common examples include homosexual targets that are forced with voices that are derogatory to their lifestyle and similar mental images. Almost all targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds.
At his phone. She's looking at his phone. So what's happening to my brain is happening naturally. When these people know better than they can control people's thoughts and make you thinking the most disgusting thing, they know they were supposed to push me to suicide. Everybody, they see that. That's what they make you think in this irrational way, make you illogical. So they do this thing where they try to get credibility. This technology has full capability to actually access your memories. No problem. They can make you literally feel something that you felt. They said some country. They mentioned some country. And they made me think of me when I was like 11 years old. And I remember the air of being in this country. I remember I remember that feeling of being in that country. I remember that. But this is what they can do. They can absolutely get into your memories. That's old school. But that's not what they're trying to do here. They manipulate your memories that you experience. They give you a different version. It's like, you see, you can feel that. It's like, yes, you can feel, you have access to my memories. That's easy. But what you're trying to do is to make me subscribe to these manipulations by manipulating my memories and make me feel, oh, you felt like that when you were a child. They've done that to like things that happened like 3 years ago. I was like, I didn't feel this. Why am I feeling like that? I remember this is false. So you in your childhood, like, whoa, they add all kind of sensation that weren't there. In 2020, I made a video about memory manipulation. I talked about the different phase of my
the alteration of the smell sensation, so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted dreams and videos in my closed eyes. Specific foods or things like flowers, etc. Feces, urine, and also
manipulations. I literally mentioned they can make you like smell something that you ate when you were a kid, and it brings you back to then. But they can add that memory with something else, some extra information, some extra stuff in it that you did not experience at the time. This is how they manipulate people to accept these things, even though even the logic of it is kind of on the spectrum. It's like, we matched it to you when you're a child, so you're making me feel like I'm a child when I'm a grown person in their 30s. Imagine talking to a 37-year-old. It's like, no, remember, that's you when you're 13 years old. When you just turned 14, that's you. Oh no, when you're 9 years old, that's you. What you look at that person like you? Are you what? Yeah. No shame. But that's their job. Is not their job is to make somebody subscribe, and they have to sound and they have to sell this BS. Oh, we won. We beat you. It's like, oh. I mean, there's no winning or losing for me. There's just I'm just going to deal with whatever I'm putting in my brain. Like, I cannot do anything about it. So they can use these mystical voices that I'm like, why do you even bother using that? It's not, just speak your regular way. I'm a civilian. You're using military grade weaponry on a civilian who has no way to protect himself or herself. Nobody can protect themselves. So stop trying to use the mistakeful voice. But I know it's a falsified memory. I'm going to experience it the falsified way because this technology does that. You can have everybody on their phone and look at it. It's not going to change me. No, I'm never going to subscribe that.
The Inspector General of the Intelligence Community found that two officials from the National Reconnaissance Office, which oversees America's spy satellites, acknowledged viewing images of child sexual abuse during polygraph examinations. This is so disturbing. At a symposium in 2016, Daniel Payne, a top Pentagon security official, said that when workers' computers were examined, the amount of child porn I see is just unbelievable. Is this something that is happening for whatever reason with more frequency in our intelligence agencies, or is this something that is more pervasive in the general population than I originally realized? I mean, what's going on here? This is so bizarre. Remember, it's so evil.
Allie, we're told, and when I was put through recruitment into the intel community, you're put through polygraphs, you're put through a rigorous selection process. Why aren't these people weeded out? Why are so many pedophiles allowed to be given top-level security clearance? Remember, these aren't just people walking in off the street and saying, hey, can I get hired? Can I get a job? You're put through an extremely rigorous background check screening process. It's called an SSBI, single scope background investigation. There are people, they interview you.
Yes, I'm going to change the way I think because you forced me to think this way. You're going to control my thoughts. The way they just tried to gaslight me 2 minutes ago shows how they can just do it. And you can feel it. You just feel like, whoa. You're just like a little move, like your brain just went somewhere else immediately. So, oh, I didn't, like, why did it go this way, so fast? They don't even let you process. They give you like a thought that is like, okay, they're pushing it. Some thoughts, of course, is the nasty pedophilia things. You're like, okay, that's the nasty shit, But they have full control of your brain. They play with you. So, what they do is, to get credibility, they make you feel a real memory. And see that you remember that's real, right? That's a real memory. That's how I'm trying to speak how they will make me imagine, make me think. See this memory? That is a memory that you truly experienced. You see? So this pedophilia thing, it was you when you were a child. We matched it. We mapped it, sorry. You see? Of course. They have full capability to make you feel things. Even if this thing is on a spectrum, this logic, they have full ability to get you to think in this, and to have these thoughts, that these memories in this new version, this new mix of manipulation. I mean, I was listening to this thing about, like false memory. They were already working on false memory and master how to create false memories in the 60s. This is before this technology. So, of course, now with technology, that can do so much to your brain, that can actually access your memories and then implant falsify memories or change version of memories and create new version of memories, manipulate and make it feel like a memory. Oh my gosh, you can only imagine. So I know it's falsified. And of me of a child, can you imagine? It's crazy. So when they make me imagine and make me perceive babies like this, little babies, the little toddler, little girl running, and they try to make me imagine this kid's little butt. Before it was this girl you see there. They try to make me imagine this kid in a sexual way. Matter of fact, right now as I'm speaking, they try to do these things to my private area. I can feel it. They do this thing where they can play around with
the alteration of the smell sensation so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of
your genitals. You feel it. It's like, what the heck? Disgusting. And they're like, no, that's how you would see. It's like, no, that's not. But you're making me think that they feel this way now and create the same way you make me feel today to me when I was a kid. And then it's like, no, but remember what you did when you were in eighth grade. I did something stupid as a child. It's just stupidity. But kids, Impulsive kids at that age will do something stupid and move on, not even think twice about it. Of course, they know that. Of course, I know that. And I know that I didn't have those thoughts that make me feel that now, but I know that I did something stupid as a child. Now, who am I talking to? I'm talking to people who are trying to make me accept this pedophilia type of torture. You hear this testimony from men, women, and children. You think they're like, oh, what you did when you were like in 8th grade. We just say no. But no.
It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. This disgusting, disgusting, disgusting things. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. So I have no choice now but to acknowledge that there are people in my surroundings or whatever they're doing. I don't know how they do it. I don't care.
You're obviously manipulating me to think this way. When I was a kid, I just did something impulsively embarrassing, and then now you're trying to make me imagine me thinking this way when I was a child. No, that's not how I felt when I was a child. But you can make me do this. And I know what I did as a kid. Now, you, who not only do the pedophilia type of torture, not only have pedophiles filled in these agencies, abroad, all agencies, right? I'm not talking about just CIA. We're talking about DOD. We're talking about DARPA. Filled with pedophiles. Okay, this just shows, first of all, how investigative they are. Pedophiles throughout this whole agencies. And I'm talking about they don't even try to cover up they are downloading child porn on their government devices. You tell me that you...
The Inspector General of the Intelligence Community found that 2 officials from the National Reconnaissance Office, which oversees America's spy satellites, acknowledged viewing images of child sexual abuse during polygraph examinations. This is so disturbing. At a symposium in 2016, Daniel Payne, a top Pentagon security official, said that when workers' computers were examined, the amount of child porn I see is just unbelievable. Is this something that is happening for whatever reason with more frequency in our intelligence agencies, or is this something that is more pervasive in the general population than I originally realized? I mean, what's going on here? This is so bizarre. Remember, it's so evil.
Allie, we're told, and when I was put through recruitment into the intel community, you're put through polygraphs, you're put through a rigorous selection process. Why aren't these people weeded out? Why are so many pedophiles allowed to be given top-level security clearance? Remember, these aren't just people walking in off the street and saying, hey, can I get hired? Can I get a job? You're put through an extremely rigorous background check screening process. It's called an SSBI, single scope background investigation. There are people, they interview you, they interview your family, they interview your contacts, they go through your online footprint, they go through everything. So why is it that when they're going through these footprints, they're not checking, these digital footprints, they're not checking for so many pedophiles getting through their ranks? If it were up to me, you need to go into Congress, and Congress needs to launch a brand new church committee, number one, to talk about domestic surveillance operations, but number two, to ask the question, why are there so many pedophiles sitting behind those computer screens within the walls of Langley, within the Pentagon, and throughout the broader intelligence community?
You're investigating, I should pay for what I did as a kid like that, who did something stupid as a child? While, on top of that, they torture children sexually.
On me. For example, they would also sometimes make her bite her hand, threatening to make me bite my hands, as they often do. One day, she had a large, severe bite mark on her arm. She has also grabbed her crotch, saying, ow, and this was used to threaten me with severe sexual torture. One day, I also observed her gasping for air a few times in the same way that I do when I am being more severely suffocated. The suffocation had been in a mild state for a while up until this point. Many of their torture methods are cyclical in severity. Right after I saw this child being suffocated, then I began to experience very extreme suffocation all day, every day, for about 2 months straight, and that's also when they made it worse when I eat. Then I also work with a 4-year-old little girl with Down syndrome, as well as her 5-year-old sister who also has Down syndrome. I observed both of these girls suddenly grabbing their genitals in pain and verbalizing, ow.
I heard somebody scream, 3-year-old. They torture a 3-year-old boy sexually. As they try to make me accept these ways to make me look at little babies. There's a 3-year-old baby, just little butts running, and now try to force me to look at them in this disturbing sexual way. Something that's adorable now turning into nasty and disturbing and pedophilia centric. It's nasty. And it's like, no, it's you when you were a kid. I'm not a kid. And when I was a kid,